Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the back and forth exchange between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe on their Fox Sports 1 show called Undisputed. Now, the little beef, the little tit for tat, the little controversy this time is over the Damar Hamlin tweet. And a little bit of background before we get to the tweet. We all know Damar Hamlin suffered some type of injury on the football field and his heart stopped. He went into cardiac arrest. He had to be revived on the field. And as of right now, he's in the hospital in critical condition, fighting for his life. Prayers out to Damar Hamlin and his family. They may get well, so make a full recovery. Now, during the whole situation, when the game was being postponed and he was being worked on the field, Skip put out a tweet that became very controversial, and it went viral. I'll place that on the screen before you, and it reads, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." Now, some people took this in a way that it probably was not intended. I think that he's saying, well, the game is now irrelevant because a young man got injured and almost died on the field. So how is the NFL going to go forward? People may have taken it as, well, what are we going to do now? I mean, the NFL's got to do something. They thought his primary concern was the football game in the NFL rather than Damar Hamlin. Now, here's a follow-up tweet because, I love context. People on the internet don't like context all the time. Here's a follow-up tweet. Right after that one, he says, "Nothing is more important than that young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue to." Okay, so he says that right there that night, but some say, that's not really enough. You were trying to talk about the game. You didn't care about him. And as a result, the focus is now shifted toward Shannon Sharpe because he's black and he's like pro-black, blackity black sometimes. So when it goes on the show, now people expect there to be a back and forth. And thankfully, Shannon Sharpe was not on the show the next day because that probably would have been a thing. But since he came back today, it was a thing. So if you want to see this in full, link will be in the description as always, but let's go ahead and roll it right now. And I will pause it at certain points because if I don't, they'll try to give me a copyright claim just so you get a heads up.
Morning.
There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACL.
And before he continues, and I got to stop it at certain points, injuries are a part of the game. Everybody knows that, which is why it was kind of a conversation among some people. Well, people have been injured severely on the football field, maybe even paralyzed before, and they still kept playing the game. So do we do it this time? I'm not saying that's the appropriate thing to say. I'm not saying that's right to say, but I am saying some people said it. I don't think Skip or Shannon were one of them.
ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
And you know what? Shout out to Skip for having this stance. He did not say anything wrong. People took what he said the wrong way. Right after the tweet, he clarified exactly what he was saying. It's like, nah, the game has become irrelevant because of Damar Hamlin's injury. That's what I was saying. I'm not trying to say anything else. Why should I apologize for a thing that I did not say, that I did not do? So, nah, shout out to him for standing up for himself and not bowing to the mob because I've seen it so many times. People apologize for things that they didn't say, things they didn't do, and then it's never enough. People always want you to do more and more and more and more to apologize, and it's never going to be enough. Let's keep on going.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
So I guess Jenny or whatever, that's like their co-host who kind of like helps introduce things and sets questions up. So he's going to stop the monologue right here and just let her go and talk about the next topic. That's kind of what's happening when he says, go ahead, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up.
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Now I understand Shannon's point of view. He doesn't want to be interrupted, but at the same time, I understand Skip's point of view. I think they're both kind of right here. Shannon's right to want to speak and not be interrupted, but Skip is right to defend himself about the whole tweet thing, talking about you should take it down. It's like, I ain't taking nothing down. So I understand both of their points here, for sure, in this instance.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanation. So clearly, somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
So that's that. They kind of just at that point they went on to talk about other things. People, I think, look a little bit too deeply into these kind of situations, into the back and forth between Skip and Shannon talking about, oh, they're going to break up, they're not going to make it, they don't like each other. I don't think that's appropriate to say. Or what's a better word I'm going to say rather than appropriate? I don't think that's correct. I think that they have a healthy respect for each other and they can disagree on certain things, but still come to work every day or most days, Shannon, and still get work done. And that's fine. But I think in today's society, everything's so polarized, either all or nothing. Just like me with the whole thing about Damar Hamlin, I said, well, it probably wasn't the vax. It probably was the commotio cordis. And people took that and then they were talking about, oh, you love the vaccine, get your booster. I was like, wait a minute. I've been the guy that's been anti-vax, I guess you would say, for lack of a better word, since the beginning. When people were talking about, yeah, Trump, go out there and do it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I'm cool. You know, big Trump fan, not vote for him again if he ran. If he got the nomination, not vote for him. But I'm not going to take that vax. Why would I take a thing that it just came out untested? The long-term effects are unknowable. Why would I take that? Why'd I put that in my body? It don't make no sense. So I've been that way from the beginning. I've been consistent, but because I say, well, maybe that incident wasn't the same as people just passing out for no reason, who have been unbothered. Nobody suffered a hit. Nobody had any kind of deep physical exertion. They're just standing right there on the field with nobody around them and they fall over. You know, that is much different than what happened here. But because I say that, then people put me in the category of a pro-vax person. You see, that's kind of where we at nowadays. And I think Skip and Shannon aren't that way. They can have real disagreements, real maybe even shouting matches, and at the end of it, coming together like brothers. That's the way it used to be as I close. You know, when I was a youngin', you know, you might be able to fight somebody, wrestle somebody, and it's not even really a big deal. You fight for fun, wrestle for fun. It wasn't that big of a deal. But now on social media and stuff like that, in the whole cancel culture, if a person says a thing that you think is wrong, it might not even be wrong, but you think it's wrong. You feel it's wrong. That's enough to cancel them. I see it on my channel all the time. They say, man, your opinion at time mark 801 of this 15-minute video, or matter of fact, your opinion at the 801 mark of this 3.5-hour podcast you do twice a week, I disagree with that, so I'm gonna unsubscribe. That's how it is, but I think that's a little crazy. I think that's not really reality and how humans should interact with each other. I think that's just the polarization of our society through social media and through the constant inundation of the left-right paradigm, the right-wrong, and just all kind of stuff that's done a lot of times for profit. Personally, I just approach things how I see them and nothing else. I don't really try to put too much spin on what's going on. But unfortunately, people in society, a lot of your gatekeepers in media, they think otherwise. And what you have is a result of, oh, you got to cancel Skip Bayless because what he said about Damar Hamlin. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Skip Bayless said here? How do you feel about what Shannon Sharpe said here? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments. You guys should pretty much know where I'm at. I support Skip Bayless and what he was saying about the whole tweet situation. Don't back down. Don't apologize. You didn't say anything wrong. Your focus was about Damar Hamlin, the young man who almost lost his life on the football field. That should have been everybody's focus. You said the right thing. Now, if you weren't worried about that, if the game was your focus, then I say you're wrong, but you didn't do that. So there's no point in apologizing. Now I understand Shannon Sharp's point of view as well, because he's getting pressure from people that don't like what Skip Bayless said. And if Shannon said something wrong, then now he's getting attacked. It's kind of a lose-lose for him. If he supports Skip and what he said, then people say, oh, you are a race traitor, you are a hater, you're dumb, I'm not going to watch you anymore. If he doesn't support him, then it's like, well, you're not giving them any kind of grace, you're dumb, you can't read. So it's like, I think ultimately people need to just step out, back up a little bit, and read what Skip Bayless wrote and just believe him when he says in the subsequent tweet that he's worried about Damar Hamlin, and that's it. I don't think this is really about Skip and Shannon more than it is about the people who are watching it, trying to egg it on one way or the other. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.